That's funny. And I wish I had known that you two were going to come up here. That was awesome. I don't know how many of you know Holly Batt, my wife and business partner, the Batt of Batt and Lear. She's actually in the audience tonight, way up at the back. I like to stand and talk in front of people, and I'm predicting that I will get gonged with the little dinger there. I might go long, and I'll stop when you tell me to. And my wife, I love you, 16 years in business, would rather sit up there and enjoy the show. I want to give a shout out to the 8 or 9 Batt and Lear people who are here tonight. Thanks for coming, and thank you for being part of this great project. And I'll give a shout out to the homeowners who are also here in a second. I want to start by saying, I don't know how many years ago it was. There was a friend of mine who's a remodeler. He's really good at remodeling. He's well known for the great work he and his company do. And he pulled me aside and he said, I would love to do more of the kind of work you guys do, but nobody ever asks for it. And I'm surprised I didn't get a chuckle from that. That struck me in a pretty big way. What do you mean nobody ever asked for it? Building homes, Lauren, Tina are down there at the right. They're sitting in the audience. Thank you for coming here tonight, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with you to build the home that we built here, starting with the home you see on the right, just above the family photograph there. Lauren and Tina and their 2 girls started the conversation with us in a very similar way to how many people start the conversations with you. If you work on existing homes, homes are personal, emotional, important things, right? They express who we are, how we are, what we want to be in the world, how we want to be in the world. And maybe we don't say all of that, but at some level we kind of think or feel that. And if you don't think for a second that it's going to take a bit to draw people out on what they really want to express with their home when they have to go to work on it, then pause for a second and think, maybe that kitchen table conversation, the next conversation needs to be a little bit longer. The story starts with, wouldn't you know, our family is growing, we live in Seattle, we don't want to move, we like our neighborhood, we need another bedroom, we need another bathroom. That's the ask. Right? Yes, there's more. I know the list was longer, Lauren and Tina, but for storytelling purposes, I'm gonna boil it down to that. The kitchen table at which we had, and I'm gonna walk you through this conversation as I give you this presentation. That kitchen table where we had the conversation over many meetings, always delicious almonds and tea served, is a quite small kitchen table. And it's really hard to get around to the seat on the backside. And a creative, wonderful family that wants to do art and eat together and do their homework together and hang out together is trying to be in that space. And yes, they can do it. They can keep doing it. But they want a little more space. They want to expand. The house is dark. The yard is big. The yard is to the south. They love the yard. They want a house that will work as their family grows. I'm just giving you a quick sneak preview of the house as it was finished because I want to talk about how we got from there to here. An old farmhouse sit in the middle of Wedgwood with very few small windows, very small spaces, and a big old southern yard, some beautiful orchard trees to the north. I say an orchard, it feels like an orchard to me, apple trees along the north side, full, ebullient, dropping apples all season long, a fig tree to the south that just won't quit, that just keeps giving these big, luscious figs. How do we get here from there when all they wanted was another bedroom, another bathroom? Well, there's a little bit of while we're at it, right? I'll admit that. But really, what I want to point at is the way the conversation goes. Okay, I know you want to build another bedroom and another bathroom. Should we go up? Should we go out? What's more cost effective? What's going to be the better outcome? Well, what do you like about this place? What do you care about? What do you do here? Well, we love that yard. We don't want to give up any of it. We love this house. We don't want to throw it away. We don't want to change that much about it in a sense, right? The character, the spirit of this thing, we want to keep that alive. Oh, and the orchard, we can't expand that way either. But going up is really expensive. As you explore these notions, and I don't know, I didn't say much about that last photo, but that was a mid-construction photo of the south side of the house. I don't know if you noticed, there were some envelope, techie, geeky, wonderful liquid membrane things going on there. And there were a lot of openings that were ready for windows. And this is the finished space inside, looking basically the same direction we were looking when we were looking at their daughter doing her ballet. This is the new kitchen with a small sunroom beyond that is letting the light in and the warmth in. I'm not going to give away the ending yet. The thing on the right, the sliver of photo on the right, is the outside of that same window wall that you can see beyond where all the light is flooding in. That's the south. Those are awnings, purpose to shade during summer. The conversation went like this. Well, if you don't want to go out there, why? Because we love it out there. It's bright. It's the south. It's our yard. There's the play structure. There's the lawn. Well, what can we do with the south? Can we bring lots of light in? What if we didn't expand out that way and we let that be the space through which all the sun came? And hey, if we're gonna keep here and we're gonna grow up and we're gonna change the roof line, should we take that opportunity to change the shape of the roof so that we could take some sun in? Do you have any goals for this house? What about energy? What about water? And the answers were absolutely. That stuff really matters to us. It wasn't on the list. It was in the conversation. It was in the discovery that we found together. For those who are wonks in the room, that's a sand and CO2 heat pump. Over 17 conversations or so, we got to the point where we realized, gosh, we're going to do so much to this envelope. We're going to make it ready to receive the sun, both passively and actively. It's going to have enough room to power the house with solar energy. It's going to have enough window along the south and the right shading devices to be comfortable, beautiful, filled with light, different from how it is now. But it's also not going to need very much to keep it warm. And yes, we do have access to these wonderful, super high efficiency heat pumps that can deliver the hot water system for your showers and the hot water to heat the floors. And we could pull that off here in a retrofit, in a remodel of a house. And back to that note about we don't really want to let much of this house go. I don't know if it's a compromise or a moment of delight. You can ask Lauren and Tina at intermission. But when you radically change a house, when you move the roof line and the walls and so many things, sometimes the consolation prize is the furniture you get to make out of the joists that you had to take out, right? The bench to the right is the bench they'll sit on in the kitchen. There's a cabinet down in the lower right-hand corner that is part of their living room. This front door is made from slices of fir that were from elements in their home. The old doors were used, and Jan, the designer who's in the audience, spent a lot of time trying to find just the right mix of hardware that could be cobbled together from second use in other places to make it work. The spirit is still there. It's a very different thing. It's a unique thing. It's expressive of who they are. It's expressive of the site they live on. It's expressive of their love of the trees and the sun and the space outside their house. And wouldn't you know, this house needed a big green roof. Because when you go up and you don't need the whole darn footprint, what should you do with the rest of the roof? Who wants to paint in this room looking at composition shingles or even a wonderful metal roof? And if they care about water, what could we do that brings light, beauty, color into this space? This is the beginning of the water path through the yard. And just for the sake of Chris Van Dalen and the folks who have been working on the code innovation database that you heard about before, this is not a code innovation, but it's just a code moment. I'm not going to throw any human beings or inspectors under the bus in this little quick story, but I do want to say the girls are swinging over their rain garden. All the water that falls on this building is taken care of on site. It's a site that does not have stormwater. It's a combined storm sewer. We were going to apply for a rain-wise rain garden and get the rebate, but we decided not to do it because we would have had to pump the water somewhere else in overflow. We were required by that. Instead, we decided to infiltrate the water on site, which was already happening. And don't geek out too much. You can talk to me afterward, but when a site in Seattle is dumping its roof water to the site, the drainage desk says, do what you want, just make it better. Don't tell us about it. That's usually their MO. For whatever reason, the inspector came to this site and said, that illegal rain garden that you've built needs to be filled in. You need to pack the pipes full of rock, fill it with cement, and then I'll sign you off. Our final inspection. Just a shout out to no names named, but the people in the city of Seattle who heard my phone call and went and had meetings and said, oh, you know what, it's probably fine. You can infiltrate the rainwater in that amended soil and those water-loving plants. There.